Good morning. Good morning and happy Hump Day. It's an auspicious Hump Day as well because it is Veterans Day. Getting these lots of things going here as usual. So, thank you so much for being here. Once again, it's Happy Hump Day. I'm Valerie Shepard at the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self Mastery. It is an auspicious week. In fact, it's an auspicious month. Um, it's November 11th, which is a very important day. I'm a military kid. I've amassed some of my pictures of my dad in his military garb, and I'll share that with you in a second. Uh, but first of all, good morning, happy Hump Day, happy Veterans Day, November, Military Appreciation Month. Um, Yesterday, November 10th, was a very important day in my family, especially because it was the 245th birthday of the United States Marine Corps. And I'm very proud of the Marine Corps heritage. The military heritage in our family goes back many, many years. I have a great uncle buried in Normandy who fought in World War One, and we have cousins and others who have supported the idea of democracy and freedom and this country's strength on an international global level for many, many years. So, good morning. Hi there. Thank you for joining me. Um, Happy Hump Day. We're not just going to talk about the military today. There's another aspect that I want to get to today that really gets into happiness. But first, I want to honor veterans. So I don't know if you know this. Where did Veterans Day come from? We get to a point. Or I'll speak for myself. I get to a point sometimes where I'm like, yeah, it's a holiday, and I have my own way of expressing my gratitude or love or joy in the moment. And then I sometimes wonder, okay, where did this come from? So, just so that we're all on the same page, Veterans Day is pretty old. And why is it on the 11th? Like, we have a federal holiday in the United States on a Wednesday, which is somewhat unusual. So, Veterans Day was first celebrated on Armistice Day, which marked the end of World War One. It was formally recognized on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918. And so today we continue to honor it on the 11th, no matter what day of the week the 11th falls. I don't really remember having a Veterans Day in the middle of the week, but apparently we have for as long as we've had Veterans Day. If it falls on the weekend, then that's when we have the Monday holiday for Veterans Day. Excuse me. Um, it's pretty awesome that we honor our veterans. I read somewhere, but I really couldn't find the reference that our service members, like some astronomical percentage of them, 40, 50%, don't feel like the rest of the country really um, understands them, understands their choice to serve in the military, especially the career people, understand kind of what the dynamic is, what they're committed to, what they're offering in service to our nation, and that's a sad fact. And so I think this would be a great time, a great day to get a little bit closer to the understanding of what it means to serve in the military, even as a peace lover, even as a peace lover. So that could be something that you could do. We'll talk about that in a second. Yesterday, November 10th, um, was the 245th birthday of the United States Marine Corps. The Marine Corps was founded November 10th in 1775. 1775. Hi, Rachel. Good morning. Good to see you. Mwah. Thank you for putting a comment. In 1775. Like, wow. It's been around that long. And the Marine Corps slogan, Semper Fi, I don't know how many of you know this, is a shortened version of Semper Fidelis, which is a Latin phrase that means always loyal. So when you think about the Marine Corps, you can think about that. When I think about the Marine Corps, this is who I think about. I think about my daddy. So can you see this picture without the glare? This is my dad in his dress blues, John Leroy's Shepherd. Yay, this was in, oh, I don't know, sometime before I was born. I remember those birds you see flying on the wall. I actually had in my house at one point. They were older than I was. Here's my dad. I think he's in Okinawa here. I'm not sure. He's in his fatigues. Here he is too. Yay, Dad. Yay, thank you, military people, for your service. This is my dad in his dress whites. I thought he was pretty handsome. And then I used to, as a kid, I used to love trucks. I used to follow around with my brother, and I wanted to be a Boy Scout, not a Brownie, a Cub Scout. And so I have pictures of the tanks and things that my dad was in when he was overseas and doing combat stuff in Vietnam. And he's among those guys with this tank. Here's my dad. He's in the middle there. I love these photos. And then here is one shortly after he enlisted, when he was doing, this is the Marine Corps Recruit Depot at Paris Island. And Dad is on this side of the picture. So you can see the whole picture, his battalion. And then he's over there in the, I think, second row. Yeah. Second row. Isn't that cool? I'm really grateful to my mom for having saved all these photos. Shout out to Loretta Shepherd Hurst. So this is a thank you and a blessing for the people who would risk their lives so that we can have the freedoms we enjoy, and so that to help other people around the world. It's not always easy to understand all the things that the military has to do, but today we just honor them. We just honor them and thank them, and yay. And I'm very proud to be a military kid. Wasn't easy, but it taught me resilience and a number of other things. And I thank my dad, and I miss him, and I love him. Yabba dabba do. So I'm going to post a couple things. Like, I love the Marine Corps hymnal. We used to walk around the backyard marching to it. Proud to claim the title of United States Marines. We used to walk around. We would play Marines in the backyard. Not the fighting part, but believe it or not, we would play the office part. Pretty funny. My dad would bring home papers, and oh, it was so much fun. So when we think about honoring our service members, like as a peace lover, one of the ways that I honor them is compassionate activism toward having more peace in the world. So what does that mean? What does that look like? Having more peace in the world is actually not a geopolitical concept. So there's plenty done on the geopolitical scale, and when you are practicing the living happy to be me principles, which are rooted in universal divine law, the energy that we take wherever we go creates the environment. And especially when we're a part of collective consciousness, and that energy of several gathered can create a whole field of energy. And so one of the best ways that you can honor the military is keep them out of harm's way. And yes, fund them. Yes, make them strong. And can we, as an individual who is not in the military, participate in bringing more peace in the world so that our military spends less time in harm's way? Like, that starts within us. Like, what is the warring self of you talking to you about right now? I mean, you can see plenty in the world to get on one side or the other of and come at it from a place of force and anger and frustration and resentment and the feelings of rejection and fight. We're fighting for this or we're fighting for that. And this is where compassionate activism shifts that energy. So while I hold love in my heart and understanding and harmony and compassion and tolerance, tolerance doesn't mean giving up your point of view. It means receiving the other person's point of view in a compassionate energy, even though you may staunchly disagree. And we've gotten away from leadership that has that element in it. We're hearing a lot from people today about your opponent is not your enemy. And I think that the enemy idea comes from this deep-seated upset that comes from feeling rejected, that when my idea is rejected, therefore too am I. You can't reject me, you can't reject my idea without rejecting me. And so peace inside these situations and out in the world comes from peace practiced, activist peace, compassionately activist peace inside me. I can feel when I'm going into a situation with my dukes up, when I'm actually expecting a fight. I'm conjuring it in my head. Have you done that? You conjure the fight and you've planned out. They're going to say this, then I'm going to say that, and they're going to do this, and then I'm going to go, and it can be that way. And it's not serving us. It's not serving. And when I say it's not serving us, I don't just mean it's not serving you, but it's not serving the world in which we operate, the world in which we travel, the world in which my happiness is being created at any given moment by me. And might be thwarting it. So a number two way that I really want to put in here, number two way of honoring, recognizing, and serving our members of the service and our veterans is to engage in veterans affairs here at home. If there's a way for you to volunteer, if you can work with the Wounded Warrior Project, if you can engage in issues that affect veterans, that's a really powerful way to say thank you. If you don't know any, especially if you're not rooted in the energy of that in your life, in your world, then certainly the service angle can take your energy to serve many. And I want to just talk about this idea of rejection for a quick minute. The division that we have in our world right now, division has a way of fueling the feelings of rejection. When we are divided on a topic, any topic, it doesn't have to be political in nature. I think what we're seeing at the highest levels is giving us an opportunity to check in on what we're feeling at the deepest levels. And like, where am I contributing to this concept? And how can I contribute in a way that serves more powerfully the happiness that I'm seeking, that I'm desiring to feel? And so rejection, this dismissing or refusing of a proposal or an idea, it can cut deep. For me, and I've been in spaces where I put myself in a space and could get rejected. I've been an actress since I was like 3 years old. Have done all kinds of stuff, nothing major. I'm still a member of the Screen Actors Guild and have done commercials and theater and television and voiceovers and a number of different things. And every single audition was me putting myself in a space where the possibility of rejection was 99%. And I wasn't very practiced at it. Like, I wasn't, the me I am now is not the me I was when I was heavily auditioning, pursuing my dream, one of my dreams. And it hurt. I mean, there were times when I would, on my way home, my brother's an accomplished actor and a Grammy-nominated musician, Biko, and hi Mike, and I would call him, lean on my big bro. Oh, I totally blew it. And it really hurt when I went to callbacks and when I was, on a veil for a commercial. That was a technical term for standby. And they didn't pick me. And I was like, well, I don't get it. They put me on a veil and they pick someone else. And so I'm definitely an old hat to rejection. I felt it in professional life and in my acting career and in my love relationships, and we can reject ourselves. I've felt it when I've rejected my body for different reasons. When I had knee issues when I was younger and I would say I have bad knees, that's a rejection of the physiological aspect of me called a knee injury. Um, when I would talk about my weight or my hair or my teeth, if you look around yourself, if you really open yourself to the dynamics that you are experiencing in your life at any given moment, I guarantee you, you are going to find many avenues of rejection. And what we first have to do when we're dealing with this idea of they don't approve of me, they dismissed me, is notice inside ourselves where we dismiss ourselves, when we reject ourselves. From a spiritual angle, the world is showing us ourselves. That's law of reflection. And especially in relationships, law of reflection is really powerful. And so when we can stop and take a moment and go, like, how is this reflecting the way I reject myself? So that's one aspect. But then also, how do we stop taking rejection so personally? How do we stop making it such a deep and deliberate no to everything that we are when that may not be what it is? So one of the things that I do is I change the words, because the words can trigger a powerful thing. So I don't say they're rejecting me. I really am careful about the use of that word. Good morning. Thanks for joining. So grateful to have you here. We're talking about this concept of rejection and how it plays into happiness. And we're seeing it play out on a freaking national stage right now, right? It's like huge, this concept of rejection and the idea that we are personally hurt by it is what gets in the way. So if we can change the word from rejection, and what I change it to is they're making a different choice that doesn't include me. Now that's not a word, that's a phrase, but it helps me get into a much different energy. They have, conscious being of choice. They have choice. They have self-determination, and they're making a choice that doesn't include my point of view or me. They are making a choice that doesn't include my point of view or me. And that feels much more neutral to me. It feels much less personal. It feels much less like it's a dagger in my heart telling me I'm not enough. So that's one way. Like, you can pick a phrase that works for you. And especially like when I call someone up and we have a plan to go somewhere, and then the last minute they call and change the plan. They're not into it anymore. That used to really hurt. And I would start thinking, did somebody tell them something about me? Are they angry at me for some reason? And so you can see that inner dialogue is a big signal to how I'm taking it personally, when it may have nothing to do with me. They're just tired and don't want to go out. They're afraid they're going to make the evening not fun, and they know I want fun. And so they've taken themselves out of the equation. It doesn't change that I can still go create that fun that I'm looking for. So first thing with rejection is train yourself to not make it a personal thing. Even if they try to take it to the personal level with name calling and fiction served up as fact, and any other ways that it looks like they're making it about you, you don't have to take it that way. You don't have to let it in. You don't have to absorb it. Because when you respond to it from a place of, I'm going to show you, you're actually in their idea of you, not in your own. That is the biggest thing to notice. When you allow someone else's idea of you to come in so deeply that it hurts you, changes how you're going to react in the situation, makes it impossible for you to hold your center and respond rather than react. You have just now left yourself, given up all your power, your agency, and you've become them inside you. That's a really interesting thing to contemplate. So, from the how do I have happiness in the midst of rejection, the Hump Day Happy Chat, how do I have happiness in the midst of rejection? Learn to practice the concept that rejection is not necessarily about you. It's about them and what it is they want and how it is they want to believe in and get to it. You see what I'm saying? So that you stay in the highest vibration for you, that you stay centered in you, and that way you can respond better to whatever's going on. It's an interesting concept of taking responsibility. So you can use the two R's. When I feel rejected, I can take personal responsibility for that feeling, not go into blame and shame, not go into them. Stay with me. What's the trigger? What's coming up? Is that really about this moment? Or is that about another moment? And I'm not telling you it's easy. I know for a fact it's not easy. And as much as I practice what I preach, it can be very difficult in a heated moment to maintain your center and tell yourself what they just said is really not about me. It's about them. And then how do we have an energetic dialogue where we are in a back and forth, a giving and receiving, a cycle of reciprocity, where benefit comes, where I can still be in my joy despite feeling like, they don't want me here, or they don't understand me, or they don't support my point of view. I'm standing all alone, or they really, really want to do me harm. They don't see me or understand me. It can be difficult, and it can still be done. It takes personal responsibility. It takes conscious engagement. It takes getting out of your head and the ego and conjuring all the negative and staying in your heart where you can connect to the higher purpose of unconditional love, of tolerance, of harmony, and of compassionate activism. The compassionate activism is the way you bring it back to your heart and use the power in your heart to engage at a higher level. Last week, I shared an Arthur Ashe quote, and it's the same, right? We start where we are, right in the present moment. Start right in the present moment. Use what you have, your instrument of love and creation. You are a creation molecule. You are a causal being. You are co-creating every moment of your experience. And you need to wake up to that, own it, and engage it, and put it into your life consciously. Use what you have and do what you can. Do the best you can. You're really just trying to be better than you were yesterday. And your happiness depends on that. Evolving you, not the world. The world is not what you need to change in order to be the deepest level of happiness. That's you. The best thing about that is, well, I'm a causal being. I have causal and creation energy about this. And so that's where I'm going to get busy. That's where I'm going to contribute the love and light that I am. Are you getting me? I'm feeling complete. Feeling complete. So once again, remember, support our veterans. Let them know that we actually see them, understand them, care for them, and that we are grateful for their service in every way, even though we may not agree with what they're called up to do sometimes. And check yourself on battling this concept of rejection. Check yourself on that. And as always, I close the Hump Day Happy Chat with the prayer of loving kindness, the Karanaya Metta Sutra from the Buddha. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be safe. And thank you to our military for keeping us and others all around the world safe when it was necessary. May all beings be happy. Yay! May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. And may all beings be free. Go live your freedom today. Have some fun. Enjoy the, in the United States, we'll be enjoying this Veterans Day holiday with reverence. Many blessings. Bye now.